Welcome back everyone to another episode of Shade TV. My name is Marissa Hill and I want to first start off by saying Happy New Year everyone. I hope that 2025 is going to be everyone's biggest year yet. I want to again just thank each and every one of you who've supported us, whether it was at the start of the channel or even just recently, because we achieved some of the biggest accolades of our YouTube career, one of those being the plaque. This has been such an extremely bittersweet year. As some of you may know, I don't really talk too much about my personal life, but I did lose my mom this past year, just actually a few months ago, from ovarian cancer. And a story maybe most of you don't actually know, a huge reason why I started this channel was when I found out my mom had cancer, and I wanted to create some content for her to be able to see me, even though I couldn't be near her in Seattle. And so fast forward, she fought her cancer for almost 5 years. And I thank all of you who saw her go live in chat, those who always gave Mama Hill a shout out. I really, really appreciate you. And this is one of the biggest accolades I was luckily able to show her and celebrate with her while she was still with us. And just a couple other things that, we were able to accomplish this year. One of those being we became a YouTube All-Star this year at VidCon, in the top 1% of YouTube Shop Stars. And again, all of these accolades I could not have done or achieved without this amazing community that I have. And this is just the start. 2025 is going to be a huge year for us. And other than that, I can't wait to see what this year is going to bring each and every one of you. And I'm excited to jump into my top 10 annual picks of the year. Just full disclosure before we jump into this is a very personable list. So if you do want to create your own top 10 list, you're free to do that. But again, this is personalized according to what I really enjoyed on foot for 2024. This has been a very strange year, to say the least. But again, if you are joining us for the first time, thank you for hopping into this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe down below if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and give this video a thumbs up. But without further ado, let's jump into my top 10 picks for 2024. Starting with one sneaker I actually was not able to cop this year because it actually only released in China, which I'm so bummed. This is definitely going to be a sneaker I'm going to 100% be reaching back for in 2025. As you saw, I got my Sandy Lings that I didn't get in 2023 in 2024, which I probably will do a lot of for this year as well. So number 10 goes to Carolyn Hugh with Clot and Adidas on the specific 2 variations of Sambas that she released. This was a very feminine looking sneaker from the tooling and the lace details. It was a very 3D in effect and bulky, but just something I haven't seen done on the Samba. Samba has really had its moment these past few years, and it was really just cool to see a different interpretation with materials and ideas on this very popular silhouette. That silhouette specifically in that collection, because there were many different ones that she released, were paying homage to Chinese heritage. So I did like that there was a little bit of a background story, but also just the capsule collection of everything and how it was styled was just so well done. So Carolyn Hugh, you landed in my number 10. All right, so next up for number 9 is a Nike SB Dunk Low. If you can guess which one, not sure if you will or won't. It goes to the Futura Dunks. So for those of you who are big fans of Futura, I've been a huge fan of graffiti pretty much since I think I went on a really fun excursion in Italy, and I actually met one of the most famous Italian graffiti artists who just so happens to be a family friend, and he really educated me on the art form of graffiti while I was out there, and it was just like such an incredible experience, and I've always just been drawn to it, but seeing it on a sneaker is really cool as well. And this also came in a friends and family edition, which I was obsessed with. Wish I could have had access to that. Unfortunately, I didn't. But again, this goes down as my number 9 pick. All right, so next up for number 8, this is going to go to the Cactus Jack Jumpman Jack Trainer sales. And this I feel like was a sneaker that not a lot of people were talking about. Honestly, when I posted a video on this, people were kind of talking trash about it. It did come out later on, specifically at ComplexCon in different color variations, but this, preferably in the sail tone, was my favorite. Kind of reminds me of like a mocha tone in a sense, the reverse mocha shade. But I just love that finally we're getting a different silhouette that we're seeing with Travis Scott. And I really love how this looks on foot. I just think it's very slender, makes your feet actually look smaller, and just a nice, simple, clean colorway that you can really wear with a lot of different things. Also came with a couple different laces as well, if you didn't know. So if you did want a lace swap, I do love the fact that you get different lace options and a really cool box. Next on the list, this was a pickup that I took a huge L on. I was super, super sad about it, but this goes to the Clot Superstars. Clot has really been killing it when it comes to all of his different Adidas collaborations he's been doing. I personally actually prefer his collabs he's done with Adidas in preference to the Nike ones that I saw. Edison Chen really has just done a really impeccable job this year with really pushing the boundaries. With this specific one, it was actually this really cool interpretation on a Adidas shell toe, which was my iconic high school sneaker that I pretty much wore every single day, I feel like. And my dad, actually, that was one of his favorite sneakers growing up as well. But this actually was kind of previewed at Shanghai's Fashion Week, and his interpretation on how he styled the silhouette was just so well done. He had this really cool blazer cut black matte colored satin looking suit that was all Adidas on the outside, matching with this beautiful milk tea colorway. The milk tea is my favorite color that was released this year. There were other adaptations in different color schemes, but this one, preference wise, was just so beautifully well done with this cream finish. It had some nice high-end leather materials and brown hues with a nice brown chunky bottom, and again, just a nice sneaker that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a sneaker because it's so dressy in the way that it looks. And that was Edison Chen's idea of really bringing Eastern and Western cultures together for the inspiration behind that specific shoe. My number 6 goes to an ASICS collaboration done with Cecily Bonson, and I'm going to grab this back here. So this actually released during New York Fashion Week, but it was basically kind of hinted at during Paris Fashion Week for fall winter 2024, and it just was so well done on the runway. I feel like Cecily just has this uber femininity that she just brings to all of her collections, and including all of her collaborations specifically with the ASICS team. And this is just something I feel like was so stunning to look at in hand. We have this really just beautifully done glossy finish, this really cool no lace tie system with these subtle details, flowers, and the 3D printed flowers are really the kicker on this. I feel like this is a stop and look at me sneaker when I'm walking around the city in New York, but also because of the look and feel of this is a great sneaker to dress up on top of everything. All right, number 5, another item I'm definitely 100% going to get one of these years. It's just on a little bit of a steeper price point. This goes to the New Balance Miu Miu 530 SL. So if you're a huge fan of the 530, I think what New Balance did with that silhouette and really making a lower cut sneaker is very extremely innovative and just more of a fashionable aesthetic when it comes to a sneaker. So I feel like it was the perfect pairing with a brand like Miu Miu. Though the price point, $1,170, is quite steep, you are getting an impeccable pair with great high-end suede textures and materials on it. I feel like with all of the New Balance releases this year, I was a bit disappointed in the releases, but this one specifically I feel like really broke boundaries and recreating and reinterpreting a very popular silhouette, the 530, and really changing that up into the 530 SL by bringing it to a lower cut. And you also saw them later in the year actually create that into a mule, which is also really cool. I've seen so many cool silhouettes on the streets. My specific favorite is the Ecru colorway, which is this light kind of khaki brown, but I've seen it in patent leathers, darker shades of brown, light grays. It is just a beautiful, luxurious looking sneaker. So that's going to land at number 5 for me. On Clout Tilt in the black and white colorway. For those of you who are On fans, this is the first time I've really been extremely drawn to a sneaker because this is their interpretation on an all-day wear sneaker sneaker that is more towards a lifestyle sneaker versus a running sneaker. I feel like On has been a brand where individuals have particularly transitioned their running shoes into lifestyle shoes, but this one was made to be a lifestyle shoe, which is amazing. And the look and feel of it is great. They decided to tap Zendaya actually for one of the first releases of this, and it was perfect timing after Challengers came out. And I feel like in testing that product out, it is such an amazing silhouette and shoe. It was done with Loewe first, and I feel like once you've gone with a high-end designer like Loewe, you know that that sneaker silhouette is going to be legit. And of course, the Loewe version, a little bit steeper on the price point, so I love that they came out with just regular GR releases for this that are valued at $160 instead of that Loewe price point. But altogether, I feel like this sneaker is comfortable. It looks good. It fits well. No lace tie system. It's supposed to be meant to have a nice sock liner so that you can kind of slip inside, easy access in and out of the silhouette, and just a lace system that's not going to untie while you're walking them all day long. Number 3 is going to go to another SB. This one actually came in towards the end of the year, so I'm glad that I'm doing this video actually later so that I have these in hand. But these are going to go to the Wizard of Oz. And these are called the Poppy Filled. So let me just actually show you how cool the detailing is on this. So if you are a huge Wicked fan or Wizard of Oz fan, I feel like the timing of this release was perfect because Wicked had just come out. But this is, of course, the original OG Wizard of Oz. It's crazy to think that the original Wizard of Oz came out back in 1939. I already kind of ripped this packaging on accident, but it does have this cool Wizard of Oz packaging with Nike SB on it. All right, so before I actually close this, I want to show the detailing. So look, those are Dorothy's ruby red sparkly slippers, which recently just sold for an insane price point, the originals. Or I guess one of the originals, because some of them were stolen. Not sure if this tissue paper would sell as much as those did, but look at the detailing on this. So this is actually a hydro dipped printing effect that they decided to go with. But as you know, one of the iconic scenes in The Wizard of Oz is that poppy scene when everyone is almost to Emerald City and all of a sudden they're walking through these poppies that make them pretty much go to sleep. And this is just so beautifully done. I mean, the printing and imaging on this is gorgeous. It says "No Place Like Home" on the back. And then of course you do have a different variation of insole. I want to show you how nice these insoles are, by the way. This isn't a flimsy, cheap insole that I'm used to getting on some of these, but the satin detail on these is gorgeous. We will soon put up a video on these. Haven't done it yet, but again, just beautifully well done. And if you're a Wizard of Oz fan or a Wicked fan, this is definitely something that you need to have in your closet. All right, so next up, another sneaker actually I have yet to do a video on. This one actually was a gift and I was bummed because I didn't get it on the original release. What ended up happening is I carded it and I got an email later that had said that they were out of stock and unfortunately couldn't fulfill my order. But if you are a huge Alien fan like myself, this is what goes down as my number 2 sneaker of the year. So these are the BB 4002 mid Alien Stompers. So I'm just gonna take this out and then show you, look at how insane this box is. I mean, the detail on this box is crazy. I mean, it looks exactly like it does in the new Romulus film. You know, the acidity of the acid and what that might look like, and it's see-through so you can actually see the sneakers through the box itself. But the detailing is just so well done. I've been a huge Alien fan since the original came out. I've been going and watching every single movie on its release date. I was lucky enough to actually premiere this at a special premiere put on by the Team Romulus. And the sneakers though, these were actually used in the film. So how cool is it to have the exact identical sneaker that the main character in Romulus was wearing? I mean, it's like insane. So as far as the detailing goes, this again takes cues from the 80s and 90s variation, of course, which Sigourney Weaver had worn. But the detailing on this and the scuff marks, I mean, it just is perfectly worn in and aged. It looks gorgeous. gorgeous. I love this Bordeaux tone that they went with. I think it just pairs so perfectly and nicely on the back. So we have Wayland Yutani's logo on the back here, as well as the front. So for those of you who are huge fans of Alien, you'll love that they've just put these little tiny subtle details on portions of this sneaker. But man, this is so well done. They're so comfortable. I'm so excited to wear these into 2025. All right, so we're ready for number 1 of 2024. This is going to go to an entire capsule collection. You probably already guessed it. The Kith Asics Marvel villains or super villains whole capsule collection. For those of you who are at San Diego Comic-Con, I was fortunate enough to be there actually on ground zero at the release date of this iconic collection that Ronnie decided to do once again. I guess this is my second year seeing a second adaptation collaboration of him when he's partnered with Marvel. But this one was just so well done. I mean, he really blew it out of the park with this one, from the packaging to the look and feel of these sneakers. I have videos on 3 of them. So as you know, the GT 2160s are the ones that I did. It came in a double pack for the Spider-Man and the Venom variation, which was such a sick package. I mean, the details on the sneaker itself were absolutely incredible, from the interior to the comic books that you got, which were graded by PSA. And for those of you who were at Comic-Con, you know that the entire PSA team was there as well. So really cool to have that just added on top of like everything that was a part of this whole core collaboration. But then we had the Gel 1130s, and then as well my favorite, the Gel Keanu 14s, and those, of course, we had other options. So in the 2160 or the GT 2160, we had that Green Goblin, which I loved. Each of them had pretty much these very cool kind of ombre effects. Then we had the Silver Surfer, which was just this really cool silver purplish tone. I unfortunately wasn't able to get that, and that was again that Gel Keanu 14. And then the last one, we had the Magneto, which was the cheapest variation, and that was the Gel 1130. All right, everyone. So that was my top 10 list. Let me know, what were your top sneakers of 2024? Really excited to see what we have in store for 2025. Again, this was a strange kind of year for me all around. I feel like for sneaker releases, for personal reasons, but really excited to just get excited for a brand new start of a year and seeing what will be released. We're gonna have a lot more lists, so definitely stay tuned for our other lists that will be dropping on the channel. Other than that, Happy New Year once again to everyone. Hope that you have, again, the most amazing 2025 year. Be sure to hit that subscribe on your way out and give this video a thumbs up. We will catch you all on the next episode.